I had the pleasure of visiting the mill over at Manchester Pellets to see how they put these pellets together. We will be hearing a lot more from that trip in the upcoming months. I've also managed to secure some 20 off 100 at wildforkfoodsonline.com. I've got information under the show notes. If you've never shopped at Wild Forks, you are going to want to take advantage of that. And today's show is going to be all about some of my favorite barbecue appies to make. And of course, that is going to be some barbecue meat candy. And we are going to do it up poor man's style. Of course, I am talking about chuck roast burnt ends. So what I want to do here is I want to turn our attention down to the board. We've got a little bit of prep work to do. We'll get that out of the way. Then I will meet you on over to the pit. We will get that fired up and start cooking. All right, guys, so look, in prepping and choosing your chucks, you do have a couple rules of thumb here. You want everything uniform across the board, so don't pick one chuck that's 3 inches thick and pick another one that's 4 or 5 inches thick, or vice versa. You want to try to keep it uniform across the board. And basically what I like to do here, obviously open them up, dry them off. You're going to start splitting the chucks because you want to get same size strips. And doing that, you want to remove any fat chunks that are in the middle of the chuck. We like a well chunked out, fatty, marbled chuck roast, but for this recipe you do not want that. Get rid of all the hard fat, stripping away any pieces of meat with it. I will put that in a pile there for later use. And again, just strip them down, keep them uniform. So I like to go about 1.5 inches to 1.5 inches cubed, or 2 inches by 2 inches cubed. I do believe 1 inch by 1 inch is just too small. So once you get all that chuck divided out, you can take the remainder of the scrap, put it in a freezer bag, get it in a freezer. You could use that for later use. Other than that, it is time to move on to the next step. At this point, you are going to get everything in a bowl. Grab your favorite rub. I am going to go with a little bit of ASHKICKIN Barbecue's Honey Chipotle. This rub has killer flavor, and I've got information down in the description. You are going to want to get a good dose of rub on all the chucks. I like to get a dose on. I like to get my hand in there, mix it up, hit it with another dose, mix it up, and hit it with another dose, and that will give me some good coverage. From there, I will get a wire rack because you want to get everything laid out on a wire rack. By cubing everything up and not leaving the chuck whole, you are allowing yourself more surface to get more smoke, to get more bark. That is total goodness right there. At that point, I will hit it with a little bit of kosher salt, hit it with a little bit of black pepper, and it is off to the pit to get that fired up. So my Halo Prime 1500 battery operated pellet grill is going to get the call. Every time I pair that with these Manchester 5-star blend pellets, the smoke just seems to never end. So that is my combo here. We will set that dial to 275 Fahrenheit. Once that temperature is reached, we will grab our burnt ends. We will get them in middle rack. And of course, this whole cook is going to be monitored with my chef's temperature gauge. This reaches my office so I can sit there and do my work while keeping track of the pit. So look, no peaks. You are going to let these run for 1 hour straight. And by now you should be having a lot of nice surface smoke. I mean, that color should be popping. Also, that bark is nice and set. At that hour mark, you are going to grab yourself a little bit of Spritz. I am going to do with a straight out water Spritz. You can go 50-50 water, apple cider vinegar if you'd like. Oh man, look at that. I am totally digging what I am seeing, as these look absolutely incredible already. Spritz them down, shut the hood, and I will see you guys at hour number 2. Alrighty, so here we are at hour number 2, and by now we definitely should be in the stall or around 160 to 170 Fahrenheit, and that color is definitely spot on and exactly where I want it to be. You're going to get yourself a tin, grab all those little nuggets and get them in. From there, you are going to hit it with some brown sugar, add in just a little bit of moisture, and now you are going to grab your favorite barbecue sauce. I am going with that Blues Hogs raspberry chipotle. Again, I've got information down in the show notes right to Amazon. Pick yourself one up. This is some of the best barbecue sauce you'll ever taste. At that point, you are going to want to give it a good mix, then hit it with some butter. From there, grab a little bit of honey. I happen to love honey, so I will get that in. If you don't like honey, you can certainly skip it. Finally, incorporate all that together. Grab yourself a piece of foil and foil it up. You are going to want a nice tight seal. Get it back on the pit at 275 to 300, and you are going to let that go for approximately 2 hours, or until each little nugget is toothpick tender. So total cook time on these puppies is going to come right in at about 4.5 hours as we take the long perp walk from the house to the shack. Now look, always keep in mind when you go to uncover that foil, you are going to release a lot of hot steam. Get those uncovered and just admire your work. They should look like you dunked them in oil, and also grab one up. They should smush in between your fingerprints, just basically fall apart, melt away. That is when you know you've got some burnt end success. I will get these out here on the board. I will bring you guys back. We will taste them, talk about them, and close out the show. Alrighty guys, so look, that is burnt ends, poor man's style 101. That is going to get the job done the best way for you. I have done these, like I said, over the years. I have kept the chucks hold, and by cutting the chucks up in that 2 inches by 2 inches or 1.5 by 1.5 inches, you are going to get a lot more smoke on the protein, so that is definitely the way to go, and it is going to cut your cooking time down, so that is a huge plus. And this is what we got here, and these look like they have been dipped in oil. That is exactly what you want. And as you can see, they are just pull apart smushy, man. I mean, these are something to behold, that is for sure. Oh, these are perfect. Guys, let me do a quick taste test and we will give we'll talk about it. Oh man, this is barbecue candy. Wow. So guys, this is incredible, and this has been 100% nailed. Hold on. If you've never tried this, again, man, this honey chipotle, I've used it on my last cook. I've got actually 2 or 3 cooks, and there ain't much better than this Blues Hog, this raspberry chipotle. This is about as top of a combination that you can get, and I do feel for something like burnt ends, this is truly an incredible tasting adventure for your senses, for sure. Wow, this is absolutely 100% incredible. So look, man, that is going to close out this show. Again, I will have all information down in the description. You can follow right along and make this. Go grab yourself a chuck, pick up these this sauce and this rub, and just follow along. You will not regret it. There is so much I can do with this. Put it over rice, put it over noodles, or just eat it like this. I gotta tell you, man, I love burnt ends. I love meat candy. I love making it out of chuck because it doesn't cost as much as buying a whole brisket, and it is definitely a treat for me and a treat for you. So I got to thank Manchester Pellets for supplying the pellets for this cook. I will have a lot more from them coming up in the future, so stay tuned for all that. They have definitely upped my barbecue game. There is no doubt about it. It is a clean smoke, one that you can definitely taste. So that's going to close out this show. I appreciate you all for watching. I am going to roll my Patreons and YouTube Join members. That is one of many ways that you can support the show. Until next time, we will see you soon.